Hi, this is Brandy, the Suburban Gardenista, and today we are on site at the Patch in London, Ontario. These friendly folks have invited me to come for a visit, so I thought I would share with you all the amazing gardening enterprise that they have going on here, both indoor and outdoor gardening, tell you how to connect with the Patch directly, and then share some lessons learned in case you'd like to start an initiative like the Patch in your own community. So let's go inside, meet everybody, and see what's going on. Thanks so much for watching. So I'm here with Joe Ganzevles, who is one of the original members to start the Patch. So Joe, tell me a little bit about yourself and why you got the Patch started in London, Ontario.
Sure. I would say that my involvement with the Patch comes from my 20 plus years in supported employment. I've, in that time, worked with people with disabilities and barriers to find employment and wanted to have an extra way of bringing some transferable employment skills through agriculture.
You have 3 locations that we're going to visit today. Can you give me a bit of an overview of the 3 sites? What are we going to see today?
Absolutely. So where we are right now is Nathan's Urban Farm, and this is an indoor aeroponic farm that assists with food security in the city of London. We started this over 3 years ago during the start of the pandemic. We will go to our innovation center, which is both our workshop as well as our microgreens location, and we even have a Horticultural Snoezelen there. And finally, we'll be going to the Cavendish Community Food Hub, which is an outdoor urban farm that is completely accessible in the heart of the city.
So we're here at Nathan's Urban Farm. Tell me a little bit about what makes this location unique.
Nathan's Urban Farm was started during the heart of the pandemic. Started this to address food insecurity. With my background in social services, we were seeing a lot of our participants that were really struggling to obtain food. And we knew that we wanted to assist. Initially, we were partnering with organizations to go and deliver food, but we wanted to provide independence to people. And that independence comes from learning how to grow your own food. This is a space that could be mimicked in somebody's apartment. They could have one of these towers. We teach various methods of indoor growing. So this is not only just a food security site where we're growing and delivering food, but this is also a space where people can learn how to grow their own food.
So we've got lots of food growing here at Nathan's Urban Farm. What do you do with the food that you grow?
The food that we grow at Nathan's Urban Farm is grown to directly assist people that are living with food insecurity. Food is delivered directly to organizations that assist people with food insecurity, but it is grown and donated by us. There's no cost to any organization or any partner. It is grown directly through donation and delivered to our community.
So I know that there's lots of food that you're growing at the Patch. So what exactly do you grow, and do you grow it all year round?
At Nathan's Urban Farm, we grow a lot of leafy greens. We grow Swiss chard. We grow lettuce. We grow arugula. We grow spinach. We grow a nasturtium. And we're also growing tomatoes. So I don't think there's anything that's more cheerful in the gardening world than winter tomatoes. So,
have you encountered any challenges or opportunities with this system that you guys have going on here?
With a project like this, there's always challenges. We didn't really have a template to go by. We knew that we wanted to assist, and we knew that it was essential that we get started right away. So it was figuring out how to use the equipment that we have. It was figuring out how to get that food to the people that we wanted to help. And it was finding a space that we needed to grow in. So there's been challenges along the way, but I always go back to the start of when we did this. And we started this in an office with these towers and delivering the food to the community. I think that when you fine-tune something, it gives you an opportunity to look at what the challenges are, but also to innovate for the future. So there's always a challenge that is followed up by innovation.
Are all of the spaces at the Patch accessible for people who use assistive devices?
All of the spaces that we have are geared towards accessibility. With accessibility, we are always learning that we can do better. Our spaces, our garden beds at the Cavendish Community Food Hub are at an accessible height. We have specialized accessible beds. The units that we have here have accessibility, but we're really partnering with the individuals that frequent our spaces, and learning more and getting better.
So you've got these awesome hydroponic towers inside. How do you pollinate when you're indoors?
Pollinating inside. There's, I think, two key methods to pollinating plants when they're inside of a space, because we're actually quite far from outside. We have the shake method, where we are gently shaking the leaves, as well as ladybugs. Ladybugs, I think that ladybugs should be on our website as a team member, because ladybugs are really so instrumental in assisting with indoor farming and indoor gardening.
So in this indoor space, do you have any pests that you have to be concerned about?
With a space like this, although it's far from outside, we do have pests that do come in. The two main ones would be whiteflies and aphids. Thankfully, this is a space that we are able to use some organic methods to deal with that. And the number one would be ladybugs and also neem oil.
So this is Nathan's urban farm. Who's Nathan and why was it named after him?
Nathan Tedesca was a real community connector in London. He brought people together and he really cared about his community. And Nathan's Urban Farm is a testament to his legacy. It was started 3 years ago by Nathan's parents, Tim and Mona, as a way to bring people together through food and help the community.
So we're here with Faye. So Faye, tell us a little bit about volunteering at the patch.
I've been volunteering with Cotton House for many, many years in different roles. And then when I heard about Joe's idea about the patch and about gardening, I thought it would be a different opportunity for me.
Are you volunteering at all of the locations or at one in particular?
In the summertime, I definitely like being outside, so I like volunteering at the outdoor space, but I have been to all of them throughout the growth of the patch.
What makes the patch special in your mind?
I think it's just the fact of having the plants around you, a calming environment. It's completely different kind of volunteer experience because you're with plants and also with people and socializing, but also doing something useful and seeing things grow from week to week.
What kind of tasks do you like to do when you're volunteering?
I like to be in the dirt. So anything to do with dirt or worms, I'm up for that.
In addition to volunteering, do you do any other activities with the patch?
I was a big yoga fan in the patch, going most weeks and enjoying yoga, and also painting with the patch and drumming circle. We had drumming circle out there. We had a tea party out there. Lots and lots of different activities, but everything was calming, relaxing, and revolved around the plants.
Are there any unique opportunities that you've had volunteering with the patch over and above the gardening?
I've been able to help with the partnerships with the university, Western University, with the engineering students wanting to come up with more accessible ways to be able to use the garden, whether that's watering or better grounds for us, or a fully accessible garden that's movable and kind of goes through the pros and cons of gardening with special needs. And I think they're finding it very helpful, and it's a good part of their projects, different engineering opportunities.
What would you say to someone if they were thinking about volunteering at the patch?
Give it a try, see if you like it, and come out and join us, and maybe you'll learn some things along the way.
If you were going to recommend starting the patch in another community, what kind of advice would you give?
Just get everybody excited about food and what they could do, and get everybody excited about meeting each other and joining in with each other and things like that.
If you could say one thing to the people who started the patch, what would that be?
Keep going. keep going because I think it's going to be something really big and exciting and something that people can take away and use in different settings.
If there was one word that you could think of to describe the patch, what would that be?
Sunshine.
I love it. So we are at a new location, the Innovation Center on King Street. So Joe, can you tell me a little bit about what this space is and what makes it unique?
So where we are right now, the Innovation Center is located in the heart of London, right in the downtown. And why it is the Innovation Center is that there's a combination of alternative growing methods that we utilize. One being the Horticultural Snoezelen room that we're in right now, which is something that was co-created by the Patch and the University of Western Ontario, as well as an indoor microgreen farm that we have on site. In addition, we have the Orchard program, which is an employment and training program for people that are seeking experience in urban agriculture and hospitality.
What are your thoughts on sustainable food production and food security in Ontario? And how do you see the Patch addressing this issue for London specifically?
I think as we become more urbanized and we develop farmlands within in the province, what we need to do is look at where we can grow. So we can grow, for instance, right now we're in a former office space. We're at Nathan's Urban Farm, which was an event space, and we're going to be going to Cavendish Community Food Hub, which was formerly a landfill site and a storage yard. We need to be creative in our space, and we need to grow where we can grow, and we also need to empower people to grow in their own spaces.
If someone wants to volunteer at the Patch, what could they participate in, and how can they get started?
We love volunteers at the Patch, and there's so many things for people to do as far as volunteering. We have an open volunteer night at Nathan's Urban Farm every Tuesday from 5 till 7. We have volunteers that help out at our other spaces as well, whether it's harvesting, whether it's mentoring food security knowledge and other people, whether it's social media. There's anything that you could think of that you could do at a farm to help, you can do with us.
What is your favorite food that you've grown at the Patch and why?
My favorite food is definitely the carrot. So I'm always running from location to location. We have 3 locations. And the carrot is kind of a pull and go kind of sustainable meal for me. So there's been a lot of carrots that have kept me fueled up during this project.
Can you tell us what a horticultural snoezelen is and what yours is like at the Patch?
This is a horticultural snoezelen. So what a snoezelen traditionally is it's a sensory room for people to relax, it's a chilling out room. So this is a plant-based chilling out room. And why we developed this project is because we wanted to offer spaces for people that are anxious, especially after the pandemic, about going back outside, that may have agoraphobia or other mental health related issues that may impede them from coming out to our farms. So we co-created this with the University of Western Ontario and fine-tuned it with Just Keep Growing Co. And it is fully functioning 3-sided horticultural chilling room.
So we're in the horticultural snoezelen. What are these structures that you're standing in front of?
We put a lot of thought into the horticultural snoezelen. We wanted it to be both healing, we wanted it to be very relaxing, and we also wanted it to have a job. So what it does is it provides a space for people to relax and contemplate, but also everything that we grow in here is edible. So people can harvest from these 3 units, and each one of these units actually is self-contained and can work on their own. They are made out of pond pumps and PVC pipes, and they were painted these 3 primary colors because I really like the Georges Pompidou Center in Paris with the HVAC on the outside and wanted to mimic that a little bit.
What would you say to someone wanting to start an enterprise like the Patch in another part of the country or another part of the world even? What lessons learned would you share with them to help them get started?
First of all, I would recommend doing this. It's great. And starting something like the Patch, starting an urban agriculture initiative, it's important to your community. And I would say, if you're going to start this, remember that this is a community builder, and it's a community builder for an important reason. You're developing food security for people, and none of our sites are traditional farms. And there's work around it. It's the passion, the dedication, and the care for your community that are going to sustain you.
So we are here with Holly, and we are in this very cool indoor microgreen section. And you may notice some of the lighting is a little wonky, and that's because they have these awesome indoor grow lights that my camera does not want to handle. So bear with us. Holly, I want to learn about the microgreens that you guys have going on here at the patch, your little micro patch.
Yeah, so this is our mini micro grow at the moment. It's an educational space for everybody at the patch to learn how to grow different varieties of microgreens. We're doing different varieties from sunflower to arugula, broccoli, red radish, and we've got several different stages to show you today too.
So you've got a couple stages of microgreens here. What are the different stages and how long does this take?
We've got 4 different stages happening here. We've got our first stage, which only takes about 2 days. It's our first stage with the lid on still, and we've actually got a weight on our first stage as well. This helps with growth and pushing those seeds down. Then our second stage is about 2-3 days, depending on the variety. It could last up to a week. And then our third stage is about, I would say, a week long, 7 days. And then our fourth and final stage for these varieties, it's about 10 to 12 days.
So 10 days from start to finish, or 10 days for each stage?
10 days from start to finish for all of these varieties here. Yeah, it's a pretty quick turnover, yeah.
Can you tell me one of the best things about working for the patch?
Oh, I would say bringing urban agriculture to the community and teaching everyone how accessible it really is to grow your own food in your own home, which is really awesome. And yeah, I think the community is just beautiful and endless opportunity here for urban agriculture.
Okay, so we are at our third location. We're outside now. Joe, where are we, and what is this location of the patch?
Today we're at the Cavendish Community Food Hub, which is located at 136 Cavendish Crescent, London, Ontario. And this is our urban farm that is completely accessible, and we've been here since April 1st, 2022.
Obviously, right now we don't have a lot growing, but what is growing in the growing season here?
We don't grow everything. We grow almost everything. There's been everything from ghost peppers to watermelon, garlic, tomatoes, lots of tomatoes, sunflowers, corn, probably everything in between.
Do you grow any native plants, either as a way to attract pollinators or as a food source themselves?
We're really proud of the fact that we have some pawpaw trees that are growing. When we search out our seed sources, we search out to grow native vegetables. Of course, it's really something we try to do. We try to have everything grow as close to what would have been here as possible.
I hear you have workshops for the community. What kinds of workshops do you run, and how can people find details?
Oh, well, they can find details about our workshops on our website. We do everything from growing in jars, the cracky method, to gardening 101 so that people can grow in their balconies. We actually started the patch program teaching people how to grow balcony gardening, all the way up to coming out here and volunteering and learning. It's not just something we're looking to have volunteers, but also it's a teaching opportunity here.
Do you hold events at your locations that other viewers might be interested in?
This space is a social space. This space brings people together, and a lot of our events we host to bring the community together. The roots may be in urban agriculture, but we have had, we do yoga every Thursday here. We've had sunrise ceremonies. We've had musicians play. And other than that, of course, we've also had harvest parties and open houses.
What brings you the most joy about the patch and the work that you do?
I would say that what I love the most about what I do is seeing people coming together and teaching each other, working together, and really not just enjoying this space, but enjoying all of our spaces. And, urban agriculture is the catalyst, but it really is seeing people come together.
Where did you get all the materials for this site, and how did you put it all together?
When we moved in here on April 1st, 2022, it was just an open former storage yard. And with the price of wood due to shortages caused by the pandemic, our wood budget was. So we have a very wonderful partner in this community called 3M, and 3M donated 527 pallets to us. And all of our gardens are built out of pallets. We've had a wonderful partner with the Western Fair that donated a lot of compost to us. So it's really, it's really been community involved.
So this is a unique space here that these gardens are all on. Can you tell me a little bit about what this space used to be?
So this space is, I guess it's a recycled space. So originally, this would have been farmland. And along the way, the land was used for other things, including a landfill site and storage yard. And we wanted to be part of the Kensington Village community in this space. As far as acreage met our needs, but it was not a farm. And it became a farm because of our team and our participants building it out of pallets. But it's a great example, I suppose, of urban agriculture and doing things that are necessary for your community wherever you can.
I see that the space here is all raised beds. Is that because of what the site was used for before?
I think that I don't want to say we became accessible by accident. We became accessible by secondary design. So we are on a floodplain. We are on a former landfill site. So we couldn't dig in the ground. We couldn't trench anything. We couldn't put posts anywhere. So we had to build everything above. So all of these gardens, although they're accessible, there's 3/4 inch rock that sits at 4 inches tall, so that we're above the floodplain. And we really wanted this space to honor the expectations of the municipal government here. And it was designed by accident to be accessible, although that was a primary goal.
What are all the different features in the Cavendish area?
I would say that the Cavendish Community Food Hub is the sum of many parts. So on the surface, it is an urban farm, but it's so much more than that. When people enter the space, they're greeted by our healing garden. They will go over to our deck and they'll see quite often that there's musicians playing. We have a piano here almost all year round. We have spaces for reflection. Of course, we grow a lot of food here. Last year, we grew 2,600 pounds of food. But this space is a place for healing. It's a place for people to develop independence. It's a lot of things that help meet the person on a holistic level.
So I don't know about you, but I am totally blown away by the patch. Everything I have learned, it is so much more than gardening that is happening here. And I'm very, very excited to be sharing it with you all today. So definitely take a look down in the description below for all the information about how to get connected with the patch. And I hope you learned a little bit too. Maybe it even inspired you to do something like this in your own community. So thank you so much for watching. Happy gardening to everybody. And thank you so much to the patch for having me here today.